tradition written on walls throughout halls of a Four Seasons loft. In Austin, I stalled, paused, my eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear, clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams.
Yes, we do. We manifest dreams here on the Unpopular Hour. I want to welcome everybody and thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Matt Clark, and this is our Women Only Wednesday, which is something that I think this is our 13th week or so doing this, and we're just trying to get more and more women involved in sports and talking in and asking questions. And like I said, we're starting to evolve a little bit more, get more and more people wanting to sponsor us and help us, and we're going to eventually add in a call in where people can call in and ask questions, or you can join us live on YouTube, and remember to subscribe and like, and then you can go in and ask questions there. So we're going to just slowly start evolving and getting better and better, and allowing people more and more access to where they can call in. You can send messages on Facebook, or you can send your comments and stuff on YouTube. So like I said, our YouTube channel is the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday, or the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark. Of course, we're also doing After the Storm, OKC Thunder. So, but the easiest way to do it is just go to mcsportsnetwork.com, and then you can watch any episode that you want to watch from there. So, we're going to talk about, of course, the NBA today, the playoffs and everything that happened last night. We're going to talk about, obviously, the games that are coming up tonight and what's happened thus far as all the rankings. And we're going to do the bracket and see who's winning what the potential matchups are for the conference finals. But anyway, first of all, we're going to start and talk about the PGA yesterday denied the request for several golfers to play in their first LIV, which, of course, is the Saudi league that Greg Norman has started to rival the PGA. Most of you probably don't know that Greg Norman has been trying to start a rivalry against the PGA forever. And, I think it's just bitter grapes on his part, all the collapses he's had. And so I don't know if he blames the PGA or for his lack of being able to finish in some majors and his really, quite frankly, meltdowns that he had. So I'm not that big of a Greg Norman fan. I never was really a fan of Greg Norman's. It's so funny. He sent the letter to Tiger. Tiger never responded because he's a jackass. And so that's why Tiger's never responded to him. He said, "You're a jackass." And it's funny, like we talk about how in the locker room. So the players' locker room is the golfers' locker room, where they go in and they do all their stuff, change all their clothes and do everything. But it's a locker room, just like the NBA, just like the NFL, just like Major League Baseball. It's a locker room. It's a camaraderie. And it's funny how Phil Mickelson, when he went through and said all the stuff about the Saudi league and, how there was some scary moles and they killed Khashoggi. Yes, they killed him. He was last seen going into their embassy. He was never seen again. We don't know. Yes, you do. You killed the man. Come on now. We know we're not stupid. Okay? We're not stupid. And for Greg Norman to get in bed with guys who have committed serious human rights, who treat women the way they treat them. You have a wife and kid, daughter-in-law, and you're okay with that because guess what? You don't care. You're focused on what you're wanting to do as far as destroy the PGA and break it down. And let's face it, no players are going to come see to that LIV. Oh, all these players. No. What did Sergio Garcia say the other day? Can't wait to get on it. Well, get your sorry ass off. You can't win on this tour. Lee Westwood, guess what? You can't win. Phil, you can't win, even though you are the defending PGA champion. You can't win either. So take your ass over there where you can win. Now, the money is ridiculous, okay? I looked it up. $5 million goes to the winning team. $4 million goes to the winning player. The last place person gets 120 grand. Now, this coming week is coming up is the first turn event coming up in London. Whereas the PGA, the winning player in the last PGA event got 1.6 million. The loser got $19,000. Barely enough. The last place person got $19,000. Barely enough to cover what covers your expenses. But I'm just laughing because all these players who aren't making money, instead of competing, getting better, and doing something that you grew up trying to do and compete against the best in the world, what do you want to do? All you care about is want to go over here and make money. And let's face it, Lee Westwood, you ain't making the money you used to make. Sergio ain't making the money he used to make. Martin Kleimer's not making the money he used to make. Phil, if you go by and read the book, and if you've lost $40 million over a 4-year period gambling, hey, that's on you. Surely you had enough, but I mean, that's your deal. If you want to gamble away your money, you want to do that, you have a problem. That has nothing to do with me. That's all about you and what you want to do for you and your family. But these other guys, I'm just like, Tiger said no. All the top, Dustin Johnson, all the top players, they go, oh, well, we have 15 of the top 40, 35 of the top 150. What? 135 through 150 or 115 through 150? The top players are not going to jeopardize sponsorships and everything else to go over there and play in a tournament that nobody watches, unless you got Azure TV or whatever it is, Azure, whatever it's called. I don't even watch it because it's, I'm a firm believer. If you can't respect women, I have no time for you. If you want to beat women and belittle them and, treat them like trash, zero time for you. If you want to kill people because they have a different opinion on you, I have zero time for you. If you want to hurt people who don't believe the way you believe, zero time for you. Now, there's people that I'm friends with that we completely disagree on stuff. And some of them I'm still friends with, some of them I'm not. There are things that we can't, if we disagree on certain things, there's no middle ground. Either you over here or you over there. And if you over there, cool. Go hang out with your boys over there. You can't be over here with this side. This is right. That's wrong, and you damn well know it. So that's how I feel. I'm a right and a wrong person. It's black or white, like my boy Mike Debo always says, who is the least gray person that I've ever met in my life. And those of you know Mike Debo, you know what I'm talking about. He is one of the most straightest, honest people I've ever met in my entire life. I'm like, Mike, there is some gray sometimes in life. And Mike, there's no gray. And in this PGA versus Saudi League, there's no gray. You're going over there for the money. It's the only reason why you're going over there. You can't win. You can't be competitive over here where all the best players in the world play because you washed up or you past your prime and you can't make the money you used to make. So you go over there where you can make a money. I mean, let's face it, $120,000 for finishing last, that's a nice payday. But where's your integrity? Where's your belief in something? Where is your God, how can I put this nicely? Where is your ability to look at things that are not right and say they're not right, instead of going, let me go do this so I can get paid? Right is right, wrong is wrong, always. But the money is so good, these guys are willing to just do whatever. But guess what? All the ones that signed up, guess what they are? Not getting any money on the PGA. Not like they used to when they're in their prime. All these guys, Lee Westwood, Phil, Sergio, Clymer, and I think there's a couple more. Dude, they're washed. Or the guys who are on the smaller tour who are fighting for their lives. Yeah, they want to go over there and make money. Clearly, they're not going to make the PGA Tour. They're not good enough. So what do I want to do? I want to go get paid. I want to make money. So that's what they're doing. They want to make money. And that's fine if you want to make money. That's fine if you want to do that. Cool. But get the hell away from me if that's what you want. If it's okay that you know that somebody killed somebody because they disagree with them, you know that they can kill a woman or stone a woman, whatever, just because someone says something about her, whether it's true or not, and you're okay with that because you want money, zero time for you, zero respect for you. Where are your morals? When are you going to stand up for something and say something? That is pathetic. I hope this Saudi Golf League goes away, and I hope Greg Norman goes away. And Phil, for all these other guys, it should be a quite example. And like I believe it's the U.S. Open, they're saying, hey, if you're not in right standards with the PGA, well, guess what? The USGA, we're going to back them, or you're not going to go. What's the European Tour going to say? Are they going to follow in line? Because if they do, Greg Norman, you're going to have a bunch of guys who can't play, and they're going to be making a lot of your money. But how are the Saudis, and you know how they feel about stuff. And they're giving you all this money, and you're supposed to deliver, and you can't. And yeah, you're going to go to court. But for these guys who are trying to do this, think about this. Think about sponsorships. Think about how it's going to make you look, your family look, your kids, when they know that their dad is okay with him that women can get treated like trash, can get killed, and they can kill anybody they want to disagree with them, and your dad is okay with it, and your husband's okay with it. But once again, it's about what? The dollar. I feel like sometimes our country is just falling because it's all about me, 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 and not about we, we, we. Now let's talk about something fun. Enough of that rant and raving that I went on about. Let's talk about the NBA. And last night there were some good games, and we're going to talk about, let's go over the scores from last night's games. Of course, the Mavericks and the Suns played last night. The Suns were just ridiculous shooting. The Mavericks, of course, all the guys, Finney Smith and all those guys did nothing. The only two guys did anything with their two best players were, of course, Luka and Brunson. Those only two that really showed up. The rest of them didn't show up. And then at the end of the game, okay, Biombi and Karras wanted to fight. Well, first of all, you don't score if you're winning the game in the last second. We had that happen with the Thunder. And our guy who, not to be named, but somebody that I think that we need to just move on from because clearly the guy is not who we thought he was and who we needed him to be. Left-handed person. I'll talk about him tomorrow on Thunder Thursday. Anyway, you don't try to dunk the ball at the end of the game like that. You bring the ball out. You have some class. And for you to get fouled and you mad because he fouled you and wouldn't let you dunk the ball on their team when the game is basically over, you're a punk. That's what you are. You're a punk. You don't do that. No, when the game is over, you don't shoot the basketball. When I was coaching, I tell my kids, the game's over, we don't shoot the basketball. Now, I played against some teams and coaches. They're beating us by 10 or 15. They take a three-point shot and they're over there laughing. You have no class. You're trash. And if you had class and you weren't trash, you know that that's not what you do. You have respect for your opponents and you have respect for the game. You don't shoot the ball with 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever the game is, and you're up by 10, 20, whatever the score is. And you've seen it over and over and over and over and over. You see the same thing in football. Now, baseball is a little different because you have to throw strikes and stuff like that. But football and basketball, same thing. Game's over, you take a knee. Why am I trying to score? I'm on the 2-yard line. The game's over now. The bookies might be upset. People like my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com might be mad. Hey, I needed them points. Or he's happy because he's going, oh, thank God they didn't try to score. And last night, the Suns just put it on the Mavs, putting them up 3-2 in the series. And remember, the team that wins Game 5 usually wins 80% of the time in a 7-game series. And in the Eastern Conference, the Sixers and the Heat. Joel, I know that you're upset because you didn't win MVP. I think you have every right to be upset. but I was completely expecting him to just murder the Heat. I expected him to just absolutely murder the Heat. I did. I thought, okay, you're mad. You didn't win the MVP. You're just going to go off on him. But instead, you laid an egg. I you're a non-existent. And James Harden, we kind of expect that out of him and Drew. And I talked about that yesterday that we figured James wasn't going to come back and have another 30 point, 16-point fourth quarter like he did in Game Four. That's just not James anymore. It never was James, as a matter of fact. Well, I take that back. When he played with the Thunder, we went to the finals. The reason why we went to the finals, beating San Antonio, was because of James Harden. So I'm gonna give him his props, like I've always said. When I'm gonna give you your props when you're good, and I'm gonna bust you down when you're bad, because it is what it is. That's my job to be able to tell you one way or another. And Harden, when he played for the Thunder that year, he got us into the finals. He was spectacular against the San Antonio Spurs and helped us get to the finals against Miami. And of course, we lost in Miami in five, but he was great. And after that, he's just been so so, to be honest. He really hasn't done a whole lot. He really hasn't really stepped up, if you will, and do the things that we thought he should do in order to be successful. And he was just disappeared. And it was an embarrassment to the Sixers. It was an embarrassment to the city of Philadelphia. And most of all, it was an embarrassment to themselves. And when you're 7 foot with tremendous skill that Embiid has, instead of you just posting them up and just doing jump hooks and fadeaways inside the paint all night long, you're out there acting like you're 6'5", trying to dribble between your legs, shoot fadeaway jump shots from 15, shoot fadeaway threes, sidestep three. What, bro? But that's Embiid, and that's today's game. You're 7 foot. You're missing your shot. Go inside and pound their ass. Go shoot free throws. Get in a rhythm. I tell all my kids, if you're off, go to the line, get fouled, go to the free throw, get your rhythm down. If you watch any good shooter, if they're having a night off, what they do is they try to get to the line and shoot a couple, 2, 4 free so they can get their rhythm. Because once you get your rhythm, then it helps you get back. That's why I tell kids, when you get to the game, when you start before a game or practice, you shoot close, work on your one-handed shots, then you back up, then you shoot threes. You don't step on the court shooting threes because you have no rhythm. You have no way to get your mind and your body in sync. And last night, Philly, I, I was embarrassed for you. But now we know why the Heat were the Heat. And Eric Spoelstra has his guys flying and playing on all cylinders. And they put it on them. Truly, truly put it on them. It was absolutely fantastic. Wow. That was a mouthful right there, wasn't it? I want to take this time to talk about the rest of the NBA. We're going to bring up the brackets. And when I look at the brackets, I just go, man, the NBA has had, I think this is one of the best playoff series that the NBA's had. When you look at Phoenix and you look at what they've done this far, I just love what I've seen and what they're doing right now. I can appreciate uh, everything that's going on. Oh, sorry about that. Just went blank. Uh, I can appreciate everything that just happened uh, with the NBA and what's going on. Phoenix going up 4-2. Dallas winning the series, or excuse me, Dallas winning their first series against Utah 4-2. Golden State beating Denver 4-1 and just smashed them with the MVP on the team. And y'all saw what I did yesterday by putting them back on the back burner back there. Memphis and Minnesota, 4-2 on that. Minnesota should have won that series without question. And then now when we looked up, we figured the matchup would be Golden State and Memphis. That's what everybody wanted to see. Unfortunately, Ja got hurt in Game 3. And then, of course, Memphis. You had the lead all the way until the last 45 seconds of the game. And then, bam, what happened? What happened? I can tell you what happened, Memphis. You start taking bad shots. You start getting into a pushing match. You weren't taking good things. You didn't have Ja to finish you off. They finished the game off. Now Golden State took it. I think they took you a little light, but in any jump, the problem I've always had with Golden State is Steph, Clay. They're going to have one or two bad games in the series. They just do, and those are the games that you have to win because they're not going to shoot bad all the time. And that's what you have to. You have to win those games. And Clay was terrible. Jordan Poole was terrible. And for the most part, Steph was okay, but he ended up with 30, and he shut the door on him with free throws down the stretch, and Golden State has a 3-1 lead, and I think they'll finish Memphis off. I just don't think Memphis really has a prayer. And then we look at Phoenix and Dallas. What a series that's been thus far, and we talked about it, with the Phoenix and Dallas and what happened. But Phoenix, Devin Booker has just been a monster in what he's been doing. Uh, and everything that he's done thus far, and he's just been really, really tremendous. And Luka is just Luka. But I do believe Game 6 back in Dallas tomorrow is going to be crazy. And Luka, of all people, said, talk about being a front runner. Really, bro, you the biggest front runner I know. You cheesing and talking trash and smiling and everything else when you doing good. And as soon as you're not, or you're not getting calls, you're the biggest crybaby I've ever seen in my life. This is not the European League. This is NBA. And if you get known for being a crier and a person who does that, guess what? They're gonna stop making calls. They're gonna stop giving you calls, bro. That's what's going to happen. So you're gonna have to curb that. And so that's part of why I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm just going. I just think Phoenix will take care. I think it's gonna be a good game. A game 6 tomorrow night, but I do believe Phoenix will take care of them. I believe Golden State will win tonight, and those two will be on a collision course, which I thought they would be going into the Western Conference Finals. As far as the East is concerned, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking Miami, Philly. It's going to be a great series between those two, or it has been. But I think that after the debacle that Joel Embiid suffered and the abuse that he's taking, I think Joel Embiid will come back. And I think that Philly will play and do everything they need to do to get back into it. And I think that they will take it to a game 7, even though I think Miami would finish them off. Even though if Joel Embiid goes inside and dominates the way he should, I think there's no question on what should happen in that, and Miami and Philly should win that. But who knows what Joel Embiid is doing? Who knows? He's act like he hurt his back a little bit and all this other stuff. So we shall see. Milwaukee and Boston. It's all down to Jason Tatum. Like I've said, him and Jalen Brown. If they're rolling, Milwaukee does not have a chance because they have no way to guard those two guys. They don't have anybody. Middleton is out, so they really don't have an answer. And it's just Giannis and his guys if they can step up and do anything. And let's face it, one of the losses, Boston should have won. So it should be 3-1 in all honesty. Milwaukee got away with one. But Boston, I think, will come back and win game 5. I think they will go to Milwaukee and close them out in game 6. That's what I think. I think Jason Tatum then will go off, or so they should. But, it depends. What happens with Jason Tatum tonight? What is he going to do? How well is he going to play? And that's what happens. So right now we're going to take a break and go to our sponsors. I want to thank our guys at Collaborative Logic. If you have any sort of solutions for your IT, if you have any IT needs, SRB, of course, for engineering, surveying, and planning. Our guys, Oak Grove Trucking. I think my boys still in Tulsa hauling off some dirt stuff right now. And my boys at NAFCO, Greg and Max Nafee. So with that being said, hold on a second. We'll be right back with the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday. I want to say, give apologies to my people at YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. The bank that make things happen. I forgot to put their logo on this particular show. I need to go do that so that we can have them up, and I want to appreciate their sponsorship, but I still want to give them a shout out, and also just remind everyone, if you have any loans, please go to www.ynbok.com to pre-qualify for any loan, car, house, refinance, whatever you need. You can go online, like I said, to www.ynbok.com, and we will have their logo and stuff up next week. So that was just kind of my mistake, and I want to thank them for being our sponsor to us to go into minority and black-owned businesses to support them and give them a little love on my live stream, the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday, and After the Storm, the OKC Thunder broad or live stream, which we talk about the Thunder, we talk about how they played, what they did, and remember tomorrow's Thunder Thursday. Now we'll be doing the show early tomorrow because I am going to the PGA and watch my boy Tiger play tomorrow. So we will not be doing the show at 2 o'clock. The show will come on come on earlier that day. But like I said, you can go to mcsportsnetwork.com or you can go to YouTube. After the Storm dash OKC Thunder, and you can pick it up. But the easiest way to do it is mcsportsnetwork.com. And remember, if you go to YouTube, always subscribe and like. But right now we're in the middle of our live stream, so we're going to talk about today's games and who's going to play and what I think is going to happen in today's games. Tonight's games are the Golden State Warriors versus the Grizzlies, and as I talked about just a little bit ago when we broke down the bracket, I think that the Golden State Warriors will handle the Grizzlies tonight. As we remember, Ja is out for this game as well. I think for the rest of the series, I do believe. So he's gone, and I think the Grizzlies are at home. They're going to give them everything they want. But unlike this last game, Golden State is not going to overlook them. Klay Thompson's not going to go 2 for 12 or whatever he was. Jordan Poole is not going to go 3 for 11. It's not going to happen. So I think both of them will come back and have a big game. I think Steph will be Steph. And I think Golden State, being the team that they are, being a veteran team, will go out and want to close this game out. 1, to close it out. 2, to be rested up, because on the other side, remember that Phoenix is up 3-2 against Dallas, and they will be playing against each other the next day. So Dallas will be doing everything they can to make that go to a game 6. So the Golden State Warriors, they want to go ahead and close this out, and so they can get rested for Phoenix. And, of course, Phoenix obviously wants to close out their series with the Mavericks tomorrow in order for them to get some rest or be able to be on the same page as the Warriors. So a lot riding on the game tonight for both of those teams. The Grizzlies, being young, they want to make a statement and not let Golden State close them out on their home court. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Now, the Bucks and the Celtics, like I said earlier, that's a hell of a series. I still think Boston should be up 3-1 right now, but it's 2-2. They're going back to Boston tonight. It's going to be a hell of a game. I think the Celtics will win. I think Jason Tatum has to go off again. I think Jaylen Brown has to go off. Marcus Smart is playing really, really good basketball. He's running the team, getting people in the spots, and making big shots. And, of course, he was the defensive player of the year, and we had talked about that yesterday with my boy Drew Henthorn of Husker Drew Picks. .com, and we talked about how well Marcus has played and all the things that he has done, and he's been a tremendous player thus far for the Celtics, and he's just getting better and better and better every year. The former Oklahoma State Cowboy basketball player, originally from Dallas, I believe is where Marcus is from. But anyway, the Bucks and Celtics, I do believe that the Bucks will give them all they want. I think Giannis is going to do Giannis stuff, but for the most part, the Celtics have kind of kept him in control, and he's got to have Drew Holiday. He's got to have Grayson Allen. He's got to have Connaughton. He's got to have these guys scoring. He's got to. He's got to have these other guys shooting. If they're not, they're in trouble. And I don't know if those guys can step up. Plus, it's on the road, it's not at home, and bench players tend to play a lot better at home than they do on the road. That's why I think the Grizzlies are going to give Golden State all they want. But I think with Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson coming back having big games, I think that they will close the Grizzlies out. And the Bucks and Celtics, I do believe the Celtics will win Game 5. I think it's going to be very, 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 very close. But I do believe that they're going to come back and get that victory. So that being said, I do believe I'm going to take the Bucks, and I'm going to go look at my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He has the Bucks +6. Now he just thinks the game will be close, like they all have, pretty much. And but he thinks the Bucks will cover. I think the Celtics will win the game, and I would agree with that. I think the Bucks will cover. I don't think the Celtics are going to beat them. By more than 6. He's taking the over for 214, which is quite interesting on how that is. The Bucks, because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Celtics are going to be firing it up. I think they're going to try to get this win and make sure they win Game 5. I think the Bucks, on the other hand, their players are going to step up and make some shots. And Giannis, like I said, Giannis is going to be Giannis. Not a lot you can do with him, whether he's shooting 38 or 40% or whatever it is. He's Giannis. He's going to make plays. He's going to block shots. He's going to make some dunks. He's going to make some fools of some people. He's Giannis. He's going to do it Giannis. And the question is, will Horford go for 30 again? But you can't leave the guy wide open. I mean, God dang, he was open every time you turn around. He's open for a wide open 3. The guy can shoot, if nothing else, he can shoot the basketball. And he has been able to prove that when he was in Atlanta, same way. He's always been, if you leave him open, he could knock down that 3-point shot, and he more certainly did in that game. So I agree with Drew. I'm going to take the Bucks and the Celtics in the over. I like what he did right there. Golden State -4. Like I said, I think Golden State will win the game. Memphis is going to give them all they want. I'm not sure. 4 points is probably about right. The game will be close, but everybody thinks the Golden State will win. I believe they will win as well. -4. Man, I don't know. I think it's either going to be close and they barely win, or they're going to blow them out. So I would probably, my thing is I'm going to probably go against Drew on this and probably take Memphis and the points to go +4. So I'm going to go against him right now, just to go against him. Golden State and the Grizzlies, over 218. He thinks there's going to be a lot of points scored. I agree with him. There hasn't been a whole lot of defense. I mean, there has been, but I think that that they will win this game. I'm looking at Golden State. Like I said, I think that Klay Thompson will come back and have a big game. I don't see Jordan Poole doing what he did again, and I think Steph will continue to do Steph stuff. Rangers and the Royals. I'm not big of a baseball fan, but he loves baseball, and he's got the over 8.5 with the Rangers and the Royals. Of course, he's taking those Padres. Does San Diego have anything left? I mean, other than the Padres, they've lost everything. And I just don't know why the Chargers left. I mean, left San Diego. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. That SoFi Stadium is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And, speaking of football, I saw a deal yesterday where the mayor of Dallas wants to put another football team in Dallas. Are you serious? Dallas has what is their metropolitan, Dallas-Fort Worth, 4 million? Because LA, 10 million? New York, 10 million? Double them, so they can afford to have 2 teams. I don't know if Dallas can afford an NBA team, and 2 NFL teams, a Major League Baseball team, and a hockey team. And the least successful of those are the Rangers and the Cowboys now. Cowboys used to be successful, but now it's expensive to go to the games. They disappoint on a consistent basis. So it's kind of hard to do that. But that being said, I don't see any way Jerry Jones allows another team to come into Dallas. There's just no way. He and Robert Kraft are the 2 most powerful, and the Rooneys are the most powerful owners in NFL. Jerry's going, no, we're not going to have that. Are you going to let us put another team in Pittsburgh, even though Cleveland's kind of across the river, but it's still not Pittsburgh? And the NFL seems to be going back to cities that lost franchise. They went back to Baltimore after the Baltimore Colts left for Indianapolis. They went back to Cleveland after Cleveland left and became the Ravens. So uh, that's what the NFL tends to do. I don't see them. I really don't see them uh, putting a team in Dallas, and I don't think you guys either. I don't think that can happen. I just don't. I don't see any way that they can put. Now, can the state of Texas support another team? Sure. San Antonio, Austin, you could put a stadium right there between the two, and I think that'd be fantastic. That way, you're drawing the people from San Antonio, and you're drawing the people uh, from Austin. So yeah, now that I think would work. But Houston has what 8 million or so people. Could Houston maybe fit another team? Yeah, but they're staying right where they are with Houston. Dallas is where they are. So the state of Texas, could they afford it? Could they stand another team? Yeah. But that's the only place I see you could even remotely even try to put a team would be between Austin and San Antonio because they're right there close. And somewhere in the middle would be great. Or you could put it in Austin or you could put it in San Antonio. But I think that somewhere in between that where you're drawing both sponsorships from the people in Austin and from the people in San Antonio. I think you could do that. Now, you got to remember, a lot of people in San Antonio and a lot of people in Austin go to Houston for football games. So that would kind of take away from that. But Houston has so many people, and they have so much money there. I don't see that affecting Houston at all. I think Houston will still win the game. I still think they do what they got to do to get it. Because remember, Houston had a team. They lost. They left and became the Tennessee Titans. So, of course, they gave Houston back. So that's why I don't think the NFL will put another team in Dallas. Sure as hell, Jerry's not going to allow that. And the Cowboys being the most valuable professional franchise in all of sports. That's soccer, that's baseball, basketball, hockey. It's every sport. And most of the people don't understand is the teams right behind them are soccer teams because soccer or football is the most watched sport that there is in the world because we saw, I don't know, it was a couple of days ago, I think it was, I saw this picture of Hamilton, Beckham, Jordan, and Brady. And my first thought when I saw the photos, Brady, what the hell are you doing in there? Those are all world icons. You ain't a world icon. You're an icon in the United States, but you ain't a world icon. And I would have had Ronaldo in there over Beckham, but at the same time, Beckham was the captain of the England team, and he is a global icon. For sure, Jordan is a global icon, and so is Lewis Hamilton because of Formula One racing. And people talk about NASCAR. NASCAR don't even come close to Formula One, not even in the same stratosphere. It's an American thing. It's kind of like American football. It's an American thing. It has nothing to do with European sports and the European thing. So, but of all of those, Jordan is the one true Mount Rushmore icon. And I forget, now I remember, I know who the person was and said, that's the Mount Rushmore sports. No, it's not. I can't put Beckham ahead of Ronaldo on a Mount Rushmore. Now, Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher are both tied for most world championships. But Lewis Hamilton has more victories, so I got to put Lewis ahead of Schumacher as far as Formula One racing. And then there's Jordan is Jordan. He's number one, period, over everything. The only person that could possibly come close to him in worldwide appeal would be Tiger. And those two are the only two, excuse me, are the only two that I could put up here that's really, really up there. Everybody else, yeah, Lewis Hamilton is fantastic, but he's not as well known in America. Beckham is well known over there, and he's known in America, but mainly because of his wife. She was a Spice Girl, but Victoria Beckham. But at the same time, he got there, started team with LA, and played out with them. So he does have some appeal here in America. So does Lewis. Tom's appeal is strictly here, but Jordan is the same in both continents, the European continent and the American continent. He's on both sides of the ocean. Jordan and Tiger almost. They are the only two that I think, and Ali. Those three are the ones that sit there. If there is a Mount Rushmore of sports, there's three. There's Tiger, there's Michael, and there's Ali. And Ali is first, then Michael, and then Tiger. So if I have to put my Mount Rushmore of sports, I'm gonna have to put those three that way. Ali, Michael, Tiger. Nobody else. No Tom Brady. No. There's three. And it was ironic. If you say Ali, everybody knows who the hell you're talking about. If you say Tiger, everybody knows who the hell you're talking about. If you say Michael, everybody knows who the hell you're talking about. When you say Michael, people aren't going to confuse him with Michael Schumacher. I can promise you that. That being said, I want to thank everybody for watching the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. I want to say once again, you can go to mcsportsnetwork.com. We've got working on our new logo and working on different ways that you can go to our website and you can be able to pull us up. You can look at us. Also, you can go watch our other shows, the Unpopular Hour that comes on Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. Because remember, Thursdays, now that the Thunder are playing, are Thunder Thursdays, and we're going to do a weekly update on the Thunder and what's happening. Then we're going to break down the teams and how that works. So we're going to do that every Thursday. And who the Thunder should be getting, and who's coming up, and who they're looking at, and the layest news and stuff on the Thunder. So that's what we're going to be doing on Thursdays. So you can go look at all of those shows on the MC Sports Network. You can boom.com. You can click on that, go to the website, and you can just scroll down and hit them. Or you can go to YouTube, and if you decide to go to YouTube, it's the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark. Subscribe and like. The Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesdays. Subscribe and like. After the Storm OKC Thunder, subscribe and like. And I would appreciate any help with that. And also, I want to thank everybody who watches the show every day and gives me updates and talks to me about it. A lot of times I see you guys in person, and more people are watching the show, and I am humbled, and I really appreciate all the support that as it comes to that. And then also, I want to thank my newest sponsor, the ones that's going to help us start going out and representing or spotlighting minority and black-owned businesses, YNB, family-owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. And remember, you can pre-qualify for any loan online at www.ynbok.com. That's ynbok.com to pre-qualify for any loan. And once again, I apologize to YNB. I did not put their logo and stuff. I didn't really notice that it wasn't on this particular show, so I've got to go back and add them to this show and as well as After the Storm. So, but anyway, I want to apologize to them, and then I want to thank my other sponsors, Collaborative Logic. If you have any IT needs, please feel free to go check these guys out. Russell and the guys are amazing. They can help you out with any IT needs that you might have. SRB, if you got any engineering, surveying, or planning, stuff like that, hey, they're fantastic with that. Oak Grove Trucking, I think my boy is in Tulsa right now, hauling off some dirt, but still give my boy Jose Fierro at Oak Grove Trucking a call. And then, of course, my guys, Max and Greg, I might as well say the dad first, Craig and Max Nafee. So hit my boys up. But that being said, thank everybody for watching the Unpopular Hour. I'm your host, Matt Clark. Have a great day, and peace out.